sitting in a tree. Kissing. First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes the baby in the baby carriage.
Hey y'all, this is First Comes Love, Then Comes Marriage podcast. My name is Lindsey Jackson.
And I'm Aaron Jackson.
And on this 10th episode, we talk about money.
So listen in.
Let's go. Hey y'all, welcome back to our 10th episode of First Comes Love, Then Comes Marriage podcast. My name is Lindsey Jackson.
And I'm Aaron Jackson.
And today, I want to ask you, how do you spend money?
I said in a couple episodes back that I don't like spending like over $35. I said something real low. But it is true. I guess I would call myself cheap because truthfully, I'm like, do we need it? I'm always that person like, do I need this? Do I need that? Do I need that? So I spend I don't really have a plan when I spend. Some of my stuff is spontaneous. It's mostly food, fast food. But if I want something, then I'll do an odd job or something, and I'll make $100 or I'll make a quick $200, and then I'll go buy it. I'm always on the delayed gratification kick. I'm like, oh, I could wait for this. Uh-huh. It's not like I put stuff on layaway,
right?
But I put it on layaway in my head, basically.
You know you want it, and you're like, I'm gonna get that when I really, yeah.
And then sometimes when I'm looking at our account and it's looking healthy, then I'll just buy a random thing. Like I just bought a cold pressed juicer or something like that. But when it comes to spending, we first make sure that all the bills are paid. We have to make sure the bills are paid, right? And so when all our bills are paid, that's even our student loan bills and everything, and we put some money in the savings, then it's time to, spend. You're supposed to have 7 sources of income, 7 streams of income. So I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there one day where I have 7 streams of income, and we'll have
What does that mean?
So it said that most millionaires have 7 streams of income, and the 7 streams are earned income, so that's when you like get a paycheck, and then the second one is profit, and that's like from selling something, and the third one is interest, like in your accounts and stuff, and then dividends from your stocks, and rental if you own a property, and so they bring money in, capital gains, like if you have an asset and it grows, right? And then royalty. So you get money off of letting somebody use your ideas or products. So that's the 7 streams of income. And I'm trying to get there one day. And we're doing okay. I mean, we're not drowning. So we're doing good. And how do I spend? I just make sure that we have it. I am not the person who spends it if he ain't got it. Mm-hmm. How do you spend Miss Moneybags?
Well, let me tell you, I have always had money, I should say. That's not in the form of wealth, but in the form of I had an income. So I work and I have the money, and so therefore I'm like, once I, like you said, we pay the bills first, we do our responsibilities first. I spend money on things that are going to benefit me and my family. So, no, you spend, as you said, you spend money on food. I spend money on clothes because I want to look good for you. I want to take pictures. And I also spend money on matching outfits. I spend money on our baby. I spend money on Christmas. I spend money pretty much on pictures because most of the time it's for
a picture.
It's for a look. Yeah, it's I don't know why. It makes me happy. I'm a scrapbooker. So I really like memories and savoring those memories, and sometimes I'll post pictures and it's just for me, in my memory bank, but I love the picture so much, and I'll post a picture on Instagram and I'm like, I remember this look. But yeah, that's pretty much how I spend money. And the reason why, I should say, we're doing this money episode is because we're just kind of sharing what we are doing and how we're doing it. For instance, before we got married, we did not have a shared bank account.
We did not. And that is like a crucial thing, because some people are married right now
and don't have a shared bank account. Yeah. And I understand that to an extent, because when we first got married and we joined one account, it was Bank of America, I still had my separate one. I know, right? Boo. I still had my separate one, and you still had your separate one, and we just had one joined one. And it made sense, because I was like, well, what if I'm going to buy you a present? Like, I was, you were buying me things, I was buying you things, and I shouldn't say we still do, but it was it made sense. And then as we continued on in the relationship, our money is so joined together, and we do a monthly budget and how we work with our money, that it did not make sense for it to be separate. You're holding me accountable and I'm holding you accountable. And we used to do a check-in where we didn't spend more than, what was it, $300 without asking the other person. And that was big. It wasn't big for you.
Yeah, because
you literally have a problem with spending over $100. But it was big for me, because I could put things in the cart and it'll be over $300, and I'm like, but they're on sale. Or, I know he wants this, or we're gonna need this. And so it was big for us to say, you know what, let's talk to each other first before we make a big purchase. Nothing is secretive with our money. Mm-hmm. We know where each dollar is going. And I think that we made that choice to know where every dollar is going. Sometimes people have like $5 in the pocket, and you don't know where it went. And it could turn into $20, it can turn into $50, and you don't know where it goes. And we made that decision maybe about 4 years ago now, that we were going to make a tally. We know where everything is coming. Right now, we're in newness for us, and where neither one of us is working, right? And so I think that enters into a whole new level of how we are to be with our finances. And I say that because we're still receiving income, but it's not in the same fashion. It's not very reliable. And so we really have to be on top of things.
Yeah. And we've went through a financial headbutting when we first got married.
Yes.
And so it was a really important thing, because before you get married, one thing everybody tells you is like, well, most of the times when people get divorced, it's for money.
Yes.
And I had one way of handling money. You had another way of handling money.
Yes.
And then add on to that, you got to Broadway, and Broadway people they're on a different echelon of what we were used to when it comes to like having money. Like, I've seen them buy stuff that I'm like, are we in a rap video? like I was like, oh, this is called the level up. Okay. Now I know.
Okay.
And so I was like, whoa, I'm not used to this.
Like when I bought my gown.
Yeah, you buy a gown. You started buying bags.
Oh my goodness, Marcus. Shout out to Marcus.
And so I'm like, oh my goodness, she now has this different level, but let's make sure that our finances are okay. Mm-hmm. And one of the things we had to collectively do is be like, let's not keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
And like, even though we see your friends who might be balling out or stuff like that, it's never comparison. It's always congratulations. Like, do you, boo-boo, clap, clap, clap.
Right.
And we got to do us.
Yes.
And so there's been times where it's like, I'm bringing this tuna sandwich to work because I got to make my lunch.
But see, that's the difference with how we spend money too, because I don't need to eat. I will sacrifice eating to go to Abu Dhabi. I will literally, I'll be like, look, I'm going to work through this hunger pain. And at the end of it, I'm going to go on a trip. I'm going to buy a bag. I'm going to buy a dress. And so that's how I am. I will literally cut out every $5 meal, and we will have, like you said, toast and butter, rice for the whole week.
Yeah, make rice one day.
Rice for the whole week. Dip it in soup one day. Dip it in. Like, we've lived that way. And I think the crazy part is the both of us have lived quote unquote poor or without. We have that mentality and we know how it is, but
you don't want to go back.
Exactly. We don't want to go back, and so we know and we check ourselves when we're overspending. And truth be told, like you said, we will do something big like one time and then reel it back in.
Reel it.
Ball out maybe and then reel it in. Like my 30th, I was like, we doing this, y'all. And then reel it in.
We go back and forth for this because my mentality is like, let's not do, when we talk about Dave Ramsey, right? When I got introduced to him, it's let's not do anything. Reel everything in until all our debts are paid, until we have a big savings, until we're ready to go, and then ball out. Your philosophy has been, we're going to reel it in, but I need to live.
Well, yeah. I work, and I've said this all the time. I work too hard, and I didn't learn this until we moved to New York, because in LA it is mostly sunshines. You do have the beach. You do have a little bit more mental health, at least for us. We have our family and everything here. You can take mini breaks. In New York, it is
go
nothing but grind. So literally, that's why we take a vacation every year.
Yeah.
And Dave Ramsey's philosophy, like you said, is you literally go without. You can go without for 6-8 years.
No, because if you're going without, it's only going to be like
it depends
2,
on how
3
deep
years.
in debt you are. It could be 4 years, but it's still 4 years.
Yeah, it's 4 years of your life.
Yeah, and so
you were like, no, and so that's when we were clashing, and we got on the same page by going to Financial Peace University, and that was a program made by Dave Ramsey. He's some like financial advisor. He has like a famous podcast, and my dad introduced me to his program, and so we read this book together, right? And it was called Total Money Makeover.
Total Money We read that book pretty early on in our marriage.
Like the first year, months.
The first months of our marriage, riding on the train back and forth. And it really helped us. Not that we didn't know about finances, but actually we didn't.
Yeah.
We really didn't. Like you said, we came into our marriage in debt, and it was student loan debt. But still, we didn't have any idea about how to realistically pay it off.
Yeah, just pay or defer.
Yeah, that's literally, we were paying the minimum balance, and it was that whole meme that you see like on the Fresh Prince when the kitchen was on fire and Will Smith was just like sprinkling water, and the fire kept flaming up, and it's like, this is how it is when you pay the minimum balance of your student loans. And so we went through this financial peace program, and it was a book, a DVD, listening experience, everything, workbook. Also. We had to answer questions, and now that I'm thinking about it, we should redo it, because there are steps that he takes you through, and each one of them gets you further into wealth, if you will.
Yes.
And out of debt.
It really helped us just, come together and streamline to our goals. You have your strong will, I have my strong will, but we had to remember that we want the same goal. and we say this, I don't know, every other episode, is Team Jackson, right?
It's
and,
so true.
And we have like to be a team.
If you want the same thing, like one of our goals is to be debt free.
Yes.
We want the same thing. So how can I go and spend $18,000 on a bag that I really think is amazing and say we want to be debt free?
Yes.
So I think that your partner has to remind you ever so politely, especially for me, that, you know what, what's our goal here? Our goal is to be debt free. Our goal is to be owners of our home. These are our goals. So yeah, like you said, baby, Team Jackson.
So welcome to the Am I Wrong segment, where I say something and you tell me if I'm wrong. I'm going a little fast. I would like to thank everybody who submitted the Am I Wrong segment for last week. And I think
it came down to Team Get Over It. So you were indeed wrong.
About the sleeping
arrangements. Yes.
Well, a lot of people said just be happy that you have somebody to sleep with.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, that's not really the conversation.
I know, but okay.
We get it.
So this is the situation that's going on. All right. We've been together forever. We've been living together for 6 years. We've seen each other at our worst and at our best. So Lindsey gets so upset if I go to the bathroom and I don't light a candle or spray something. She gets so mad when she comes to the bathroom after me, and she's like, oh, you funked up the bathroom. And she like just goes on about it. And I'm like, girl, like we have sex together. Like we be butt naked and be running in the mud and do all this stuff. You worry about some funky bathroom. Like, you could light a candle. Why you coming to the bathroom after me? Is she like the last what? Sometimes I have green drinks and stuff like that. You know how the digestive system is, and so she be getting so
mad.
Why
the bathroom? Why you not?
I know, because you be getting so mad, and if you blow up the bathroom, I'm gonna be saying nothing.
Okay, because I am courteous enough to light a candle, spray something, double flush, something. Mm-mm. So, okay, here's the dilemma. Yes, we are all intertwined and married and all that. However, still, nobody wants to smell nobody's funk. I'm just saying.
I love your funk.
Do you?
Yep. So, am I wrong? Is it my responsibility if I funk up the bathroom to then make sure it is smelling to her, what is it, standards, your smell standards?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Absolutely.
I don't think so.
This is
because
okay.
I feel like you wouldn't do the same thing. I feel like you be getting out of the bathroom, and you know what? This is the solution. Stop following me after I go to the bathroom. But
all right, y'all, let him know. You can DM us at First Comes Love TCM on Instagram. You can also call us 347 TRU-LOVE. That's 347 TRU-LOVE.
That's 347-878-5683.
Or you can email us, let's talk at firstcomeslove.com.
All right.
Okay, we're back. And a couple of episodes ago, maybe more than a couple, but we talked about gender roles, right? And the roles of the household. And question for you is, money-wise, how do you handle me making more money than you?
Oh. Well, you're not right now.
True. Okay.
You're trying to boss on me.
Nah.
But that's the thing. One thing, you know how important my ego is. And so you've always been good at keeping it up, right? You've never been the type of, that's my money, that's my cheese, what are you doing?
It's our money.
But one of your favorite lines in the world is, what are you doing? That is your favorite thing to say. If I have a day off, what are you doing? What are you doing? Because you're a busybody. And so you feel like you work really hard. And you do. Even though you only work like 4 hours a day or something like that.
Misconception. You know how hard I work.
And we were talking about our jobs and how I've always had jobs where there is no end times really. So as a restaurant manager, it's kind of like when the job is done. I could work for 12 hours. Sometimes I work for 10 hours. It wasn't like scheduled. She worked in the performing arts where it's like, we are done here.
Right.
And even on my odd jobs, right? Because I do like manual labor sometimes, or I'll do like some construction. And it's like when the job is done.
And I'm always like, hello, where are you?
Get home. Why aren't you getting home?
What time are you done? Yeah.
But the things I was dealing with, it's really internal because your money is my money. And that's how I've seen it. Mm-hmm. Because it would be the same way. I know if it was reversed, it's the same thing. I wouldn't have a problem
spending your money at all.
So it's not like, oh, I need to get my own, da-da-da-da-da, because there is no more my own.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
For forever. We are, one of the reasons we're married and we're together is because I knew that you were going to be my partner for life. And when it comes to partnership, that's like business wise and everything. You're my everything. Knowing that I shouldn't have a problem. It's never comparisons, it's always congratulations, right? You have a 1 in a million job. You are a Broadway dancer on The Lion King. That's amazing. If anything, I should try to step my level up. Which I have, because when we first got married, I was a food runner. Mm-hmm. And within the year, I became the manager. Mm-hmm. Because, you're just working hard. My girl work hard, I'm going to work hard. And so I became restaurant manager. Then we started opening restaurants in New York at the pier. If anything, it would be motivation to keep grinding and knowing my worth. It actually helped me when I was working. Mm-hmm. It's almost like, what's it called? Everybody Hates Chris.
Oh.
My girl got 2 jobs.
My man got 2 jobs.
Yeah. Okay. But money has never been everything for me. Like, yeah. I don't want for much, right?
Yeah.
And so, and I've always been able to maintain your happiness. How do you deal with not, I guess, demasculating me?
No, never. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you deal with making the majority of the money in the relationship?
Mm-hmm. The reason why I ask this question is because people will ask that question of me, and people will necessarily put that on us because they know what's happening. But
I look broke.
I didn't even say it like that.
Ooh, I was about to say I had to do something about this beard. Goodness grief!
I know more so. Look, I'm saying people know, and the funny thing is that it doesn't mean anything to me, and I don't pay attention to it because, like you said, it's something that I have the opportunity to do. It's a blessing. It's come to me because originally I was casted as a temporary cast member, and it was a 6-month contract, and I was in and I was going to be out, and we was going to get married that yep. year. You had proposed to me, and we was going to come back to LA and move back and, move on with our goals. But here I am still at the company 7 years later, and it's the money factor is not as important. It is important for our financial stability in our marriage, but I don't think about like, oh, I'm bringing in more money. I think about I'm doing what I need to do to contribute to the family. Mm-hmm. And I've always said that. Like, even when I went away on maternity leave twice, I was like, what can I do to contribute to the family? Because we're a family, we're a team. I've never not worked when it's been us. Yes. Even though I know fully well, and I think that's the other part of it, I know that you can and have provided for this family to completion. And so that part is another reason why it's like, it's not that big a deal because it's never been a problem. You are not the type to sit on the couch and not contribute. You know what I'm saying? Like, the thing about it is like, even when you're on paternity leave, you're contributing. You're watching our child. There's always that factor. You never just depend on me. And so I don't feel that way. And the funny thing is, like you said, I'm going to go back to what you said. Pros and cons about us is that where we match And so, like, you don't spend a lot of money. You're not like, I know men who are like sneakerheads. You know what I mean? They've got, what are those, cubicles on cubicles of like
Drawers,
sneakers, right? That they just collect and pretty much never wear. And that's money. You
That's
don't do
money.
that.
No.
You know, so, and I don't buy drinks when I go out. So we save a lot of money in between some things that maybe other people do that we don't do, and we know how to kind of budget around the things that we really want.
Yes. I feel like the word that popped out the most is contribute. And that's what it is. We're a partnership. You can contribute different ways, right? There are more than one factor. When it comes to being married, and money is a major factor, but that's only one factor in the whole pie of marriage. If somebody's getting hung up and caught up on that one thing and they're not contributing, it's almost like in sports, right? So I was always taught in sports, if you can't score, say you have an off game and you're not scoring, you have to get rebounds or pass it to the open person, or like penetrate so people could double team you or something, and you pass it out so other people get other shots, other ways to help the team win. And that's what we do. Like when we had to make that decision between me staying working and actually going to, what was it, like daycare or something like that?
A nanny.
Yeah, a nanny. So it was like, but we made the decision, and I was making a good salary, and you were still working, and I was like upper level at my job, and it was like, well, let's make this decision. And so I was contributing by staying home with action and taking care of things at home. That's one of the reasons I never felt belittled or small, because you know that what I'm doing as your husband is important. Yeah, stuff doesn't faze me. So that was a good thing that you say, contribute. I like that word.
Thank you for joining us on our 10th episode of First Comes Love, Then Comes Marriage podcast. We are so excited to have 10 episodes in and to have you be able to binge listen to all of our little tidbits and quirks. Please reach out, let us know what you think. You can DM us at First Comes Love TCM on Instagram.
You can call us at 347-TRU-LOVE. That's 347-878-5683.
You can also email us at letstalk@firstcomeslove-thenComesMarriage.com.
See you next Friday. Let's go.
Okay. 2020.
What?
Wait. I'm going somewhere. Okay.
So this is my Am I Wrong segment.
Hey y'all, this is First Comes. Do I say this is?
There's more than one way to skin a cat per se, but there's different ways to get a. That's a saying.
I know, but
okay.
One of these said it don't need to happen to skin a cat.
Okay.
Maybe it's more than one way to pour milk in the cereal.
No, there's not.
There are. You pour it with your right hand. You pour it with your left hand. I'm just trying to give you a more positive.
Okay.